Hello, beautiful humans. Welcome back to the show. I attempted to record this yesterday and technology was not in my favor. And so I just let it be what it is. So this episode's actually coming in late. I've been getting a lot of clarity on preparedness. If you've been listening over the course of the last several weeks, there's something around preparedness and having the structure and form of a plan and then being resilient and adaptable. And the reality is I've been like procrastinating on the podcast. And I love doing the podcast, but it's like I haven't been creating a space. I haven't been doing I should say most of my podcasts, in case you haven't noticed lately, have been solo casts. It's felt like I've been in a season of rest with the podcast. However, for me, rest often means I'm still moving. So I'm not stopping the podcast, but I haven't been doing reach outs and people have been coming to me to be on the show and I've just been kind of sitting with it a bit, still kind of feeling into this new rhythm of the season that I'm in. And so I feel like I'm in my winter with the podcast and now I'm finally in bulk was this past weekend. It was my son's first birthday and bulk represents the start of spring. And so I feel like I'm slowly getting into a place where I'm stepping in a new way in how the podcast gets to evolve. And with that, I think I've shared I've been procrastinating and doing the podcast on the weekends. And I don't like that. So just because I'm in a season of rest, right, I still want to create the form and allow for the spaciousness to be able to record these during the work week because I really love having family time be on the weekends and I want to work on the weekends if I feel inspired, but I don't want to feel like I have to. And it's been feeling like I have to. But right when I drop in, it's like, oh yeah, this is the episode I'm supposed to be doing. Like oftentimes I'll get downloads of kind of some of the thematics going on in my life and what I'm noticing in the collective. And then it's like, boom, this is the time to talk about this. And what I want to talk about today is sustainability versus scarcity. And it's just really funny that last night I was like talking about this and I was coming off of a holiday or not really a holiday weekend, but it felt like one because my son turned one and I had my parents, my sister, and my nephew all staying at the house here. That is one of the beautiful things about having a spaciousness in this home and a whole floor of bedrooms for people to be able to come stay. And it was still a lot of energy, right? Mothering, being in my work, having people here, throwing a gathering for my son. It was a lot. And so I procrastinated on the podcast. And last night, things just kind of like went to shit. My computer was acting up and everything froze and I had to reboot. And so I just decided to say, okay, this isn't happening. So I'm recording it a day late and it'll probably come up a day late. And I'm continuing to let you all know that I'm committed to recording these during the week, bringing back collaborative episodes when it feels aligned and just continuing to show up. That feels like determination. I think I've shared with you as of late that I've really been diving deep into Gene Key 9, which is all about moving from inertia to invincibility through the path of determination. And I've been getting so much clarity on what that means. And it doesn't mean it's consistent, but it means I'm committed. And so I'm committed to the show. Um, it's messy at times. Things happen at times. That's why I feel like we need a plan, we need structure, we need form because life happens, like shit happens, technology happens, mothering happens, natural disasters happen, things happen throughout our day, throughout our existence. And the form helps. And I learned this from Richard Rudd, the form, right? So it's like if we can have a ritual, a rhythm, a routine, and we can have the form, that's the repetition that allows for right? It's like the determination to keep showing up, the repetition and then eventually, the way Richard Rudd with the Gene Keys explains this is it's like a little notch. There's like a little notch that kind of starts to form, right? Because you're repeating, 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 and you get on autopilot in the subconscious and in the unconscious patterns. And then the divine kind of steps in. And it's like you create the momentum and the divine steps in. And here's what I keep getting. And I don't even remember if I recorded this yesterday or if it's been in previous episodes, but it feels like everything's building. Like this solo cast series, everything appears to be building upon one another. And what I keep getting is no one's going to come save you, which I think I talked about this last week. And no one's going to come save you. And also, God's got you, right? So it's like I get to fill myself up with God, with breath, with spirit, with my higher self, with nature, all of it. It's all the same, just different names for the same thing. I get to fill myself up. And when I'm filled with the divine, then I take action. Then I do. Then I connect. Then I work. Then I plan. Then I commune. Then I'm in relationship. And so that's what's been happening is I've been filling myself up and I've been working and just getting back into activity and failing forward and being messy and all of the things. And one of the themes that came up this weekend was sustainability versus scarcity. And this has been a theme that's been coming up for me over the last several months, really. And I finally feel ready to talk about it because I threw this party and I did my best to be eco friendly and have compostable cutlery and not have plastic as much as possible. But it's just so hard when you're having parties. And just noticing like, people weren't recycling. Like a lot of people asked if we had recycling, and some people just threw things away and threw cans away and threw different things. And so I like at the end of the party, I went through the top of the trash can and kind of sifted through and took out what I could. And I actually was going to sift through the whole garbage, and my husband ended up throwing it away and taking it downstairs. And my heart was hurting a little bit because I know there was some trash in there, or some recycling in there that was really trash. And so there's been this whole thing, and I want to kind of unpack it a little bit. So I want to come at you from this like, if you have feedback for me, if you have advice, please reach out to me on Instagram, Lindsay Marten Ellis, or send me an email or find me. You know where to find me on all the socials, because this has been something that I get from my dad. So my mom and my sister are a little more like, they don't care as much in terms of like sustainability. But my dad is very sustainable. And I notice there's a lot of patterns that I've adopted from him. And maybe I've adopted them from him. Maybe I came in with it myself, but I've always had this like environmental conscious. And I think, well, I know over the course of the last several years, as I've deepened in my spiritual practice, what I've received from spirit is that we are of this planet. We are not separate from this planet, just like we're a fractal of God, right? I believe our higher self is a fractal of God, each and every one of us. And I also believe that we are a fractal of this planet, right? We're made up of the same minerals of this planet, right? If you think about it, when we're cremated or when we're buried, we go back into the earth, and it's all this cycle. And so I'm like sitting here looking at a tree, and I'm looking at a mountain, and I'm looking at the sun, and right, it's like we are a fractal of the cosmos. We are a fractal of the sun. We are a fractal of the universe. Like we're all connected. And so I have this deep understanding of that we are all connected, all life, all sentient life, right? We're all connected. And it's been this weird thing because I also feel like there's times where I'm like in scarcity. So like for example, I bought food, and you always want to make sure you have extra food and make sure that people aren't, you're not leaving anybody hanging. We had a couple cancellations. There's some like ick going around, and some people canceled, and we ended up having a little bit more food. So I sent some food home back with people, but we had so much food. And I remember in the back of my mind being like, oh my God, I don't want to waste this. I don't want to waste this. I don't want to waste this. And then I find this like, I feel inside of me like, oh my gosh, I have to be the one to eat it. Right. So we gave a bunch of food away before people were leaving. We were like, please take food, take cake, take food, take cake, take whatever. But when it's all in my fridge, once my family's gone, I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, I don't want to waste this. And I'm been battling with the subtlety of like, where is this fine line between sustainability and scarcity? Like, I have this environmental conscious. I recognize that we are all of this planet, that it matters, right? Like, all of us have a responsibility. And I'm not here to save the world. I'm here to savor the world. And I want to do my part. Like, I recognize I am like an ant in the grand scheme of the universe, but I also recognize that I wield a lot of power in terms of my contribution. And that's the same for all of us. And so I'm like, okay, it's this delicate dance between sustainability and scarcity, point blank. Like I'm sitting here like, oh my God, I got to eat all this fucking food or else it's going to go bad. And then I'm sitting here like overeating or feeling like pressure almost. It's this weird thing. And I'm almost coming vulnerably at you with like, I don't want to freaking do this anymore. And I will tell you, like, so here's a couple things that I do. Like, I squeeze every last drop out of the toothpaste when like my body wash is almost gone. You know what I do? I I take it out of the shower and I put it by my bathtub, and when I go to take a bath, I fill it up with water and I get every last drop of the bubble or of the body wash into the bath so that it's like I've used every last drop out of it. What else do I do? So when we're out of like salad dressing, like there's this one Italian salad dressing, a new one that I bought that we realized one that we were using before had seed oil, even though it was organic and it was clean. I bought a new kind and it was an Italian dressing, and Chad and I both don't like it. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to figure out how to use this as like a marinade in a crock pot. So I feel like I'm really resilient and adaptable in I must have had like a past life in the Great Depression or something, I swear, because I know how to like if all the food's going bad in the fridge, I know how to whip some magical concoction up. Chad always tells me, my husband, he's like, I'm telling you, Lindsay, you should make a cookbook called All the Shit Going Bad in Your Fridge. Like all the food that's going bad in your fridge, here's what you can make out of it. Because I'm just really good at seeing, it's almost like creative for me. I'm like, ooh, okay, these things have been in the fridge for a bit. How can I turn this into something beautiful and edible and creative and delicious and nutritious? And so, but again, it's like also a delicate dance where I'm like, sometimes I feel like I need to eat something. Or right now, Cove is spilling a lot of food. My son is spilling a lot of food on the floor, and I'm probably letting my dog eat more people food, even though it's all clean, more people food than she probably should be having. And I'm like, should I be throwing this away? Should I like what should I be doing with this? Sometimes I'll notice that even Chad will eat some of the stuff that's on the high chair. Like if there's something that he likes, he'll kind of like snack and eat it. And I'm just being really hyper aware of these patterns of like, okay, at a restaurant, if I'm getting sushi and there's two rolls left, right? Two rolls isn't really enough to take home. But if I'm full, do I want to leave the sushi rolls on the plate? Do I want to stuff myself with the sushi rolls because I feel like I can't leave them? I feel like somebody's put energy into creating it, into making it. There's an energetic exchange of me paying money. Somebody's made it. It's sitting on a plate. I also think about all the developing countries where kids are starving, or even in there's kids starving in the United States where I reside too. And so I'm feeling like blessed that I have this opportunity to leave food on a plate and I don't want to. So I feel all of these things, like all of it. And I have a really hard time wasting food, wasting things in general, like just being a former environmental engineer, like recognizing how much energy and water, like just how much resource it takes to have clean, potable, running water end up in people's houses. And I feel like so many people don't think about things and they take things for granted until you don't have it. Funny story, we're on a well here at our land here, and about an hour before the party for my son, our well dried up because it was the first time that we had multiple people staying here, and we were like doing laundry and kids baths and showers and dishes, and we didn't realize we didn't have enough capacity and we ran our well dry, and it took another 12 hours to refill. And what's funny is we're planning and getting all the details fine tuned for this party. And an hour before, we realize like we can't do dishes, people can't wash hands, people can't go to the bathroom. So it's like, what is it? God laughs while you're busy making plans. And so I think that's also going back into the planning phase where I felt prepared, I planned, I did the best that I could for the party. And then something happened. And all we did was tell people, like, guys use this bathroom number one, gals use this bathroom number one. You can't flush, you can't wash your hands. Here's some baby wipes. And they were all close enough with us. They're all people we know well that people understand. It was like, well, our well, we ran out of water. When you have a well, it comes from an aquifer and it's not an unlimited supply. And it was funny because my family had never dealt with a well before and they were so confused by it because they're right. People are just so used to like turning on the faucet and having water. And so that goes back to the sustainability and scarcity piece as well, where I think I've just always been hyper aware of this resource in general, and not wanting to take it for granted. And I feel like there's times, this is what I think I want to get at with the subtlety, is I feel like I've got to be the one to do it. Like I'm the responsible one. So here's what's been coming through is I'm like, okay, Chad and I have been eating leftovers, which we have no problem eating leftovers. The food was great and we gave a lot away. So here's one thing, right? It's an energetic exchange. I paid money. So this used to be a big thing with me, like, oh, I paid money. And I actually used to like not want to give things away. I would want to keep it for myself before I like really got clear on money blocks and financial blocks. Like this is the course over the last several years of me being in introspection around this. But now I'm recognizing, right? It's like, okay, I paid money, right? We bought this food for the party. We used it for the party. We gave a lot of it away, right? So there's an exchange. We still have some in our fridge. And what's been coming through is like, if there is food that we are not able to give away or eat ourselves, what spirit has been telling me is, can you give it back to the earth? Can you create, like I have an outdoor altar by the waterfall that I've told you guys about. Can I give the food back to the earth, right? So other animals can eat it so that the earth can use it as soil and nutrients, and changing my relationship with like that being wasteful. So I've even noticed myself like when I throw food away, like let's say I don't want to give my dog something that my son didn't finish eating. I'm like putting my hands on my body, taking a deep breath, and I'm throwing it in the trash, and I'm just saying, thank you, food, for breaking down this garbage. Like, thank you for your contribution to you breaking all of this down in a landfill once you get there. Or I'm just saying thank you to the food. Right? It's like, you know, you're not garbage. Like, you're contributing, like, I'm basically giving you back to the earth, whether it's me doing it outside or me putting the food back in a trash can. And so there's a part of me that's like, am I a weirdo? Does anybody else think this way? Am I the only one? This has been something that has been coming through so much. And I also recognize that I used to be really in scarcity and really fearful of like, oh, I got to keep this. Like if people were giving things away, I'm like, oh, I'll find a place for it. And my dad does this too. And I think I get a lot of it from him, right? It's like if somebody's giving something away, it's like, oh, I could find use for it. Where now I'm being very discerning, like, do I actually need this? Is it practical? So this is funny. Okay, I'm going to tell you what Spirit told me recently. If it's not beautiful, if it's not practical, and if it doesn't bring you closer to your dream life, it's a no. So that's kind of the three questions I ask myself. I love beauty. I'm looking out at these panoramic mountain views outside my office right now. When I sit at my dining room table, I see deer coming up and grazing. I love cleanliness. I love things being put in their rightful place. I don't like a lot of like things that are out. I like clean space, light, plants, greenery. That feels like a salve for my soul. Practicality, right? I like things that are practical. Is it going to make my life more efficient? Is it going to make my life easier? And then is it in service to my dream life, right? It's like, okay, it's like, I don't know, if somebody is giving something away for Cove, for example, that isn't in alignment with my values in terms of having something be, for example, silicone, food grade silicone or stainless steel for something that he's drinking out of, then it's a no. I got a lot of hand me downs of plastic cups and things, and they're just not in alignment. And I save them and I'm finally ready to give them away. It's like, no, just because I have this thing that's a hand me down, it just doesn't feel in alignment. So, can I trust that I get to give this away to somebody who needs it? There's a lot of mamas who are needing, especially in Western North Carolina, they're needing support, and I get to donate that, and I get to trust in the reciprocity of life that when I spend money on something like a cup, that I have like 20 cups, but they're not the cups that feel in alignment with my highest timeline, right? With my dream life. And so there's things that I value in terms of my health, vitality, aliveness for myself and for my family. And so that feels really important to me. So it's like if somebody gives me something, I can say, sure, I'll take it so I can donate it back. There's also been a thing of like really wanting to circulate the things in my home. Like there's things, for example, I just had my son's first birthday party. We plan on having another child. I could probably save a lot of this like decor and stuff for the day that we have our second child's first birthday party years down the road. But I'm like, why would I sit here and let it just sit when somebody else could use it now? Right? It's probably like less than $100 worth of decor, $50. I don't know. It's like, can I trust that that money is going to come back to me tenfold? And maybe I'll want a different theme, or maybe I won't want to decorate. Maybe we won't even have a party. Maybe we'll travel. Maybe it'll be something different. Maybe the color isn't a color that my kid likes. I don't know. I'm just making things up. But can I give away and trust in the reciprocity of life of like, okay, I don't want this energy just sitting stagnant in my house. I want it to circulate. Like energy is currency. It's meant to move. Like we're not meant to hoard and to hold on to things. And so I've been going as I've moved, I've gotten really clear on like, oh my gosh, I used to just hoard shit and just hold on to it. And I love giving things away now. I give things away to the woman who cleans my house. She's pregnant with her second child. She knows mamas who are in need from post Helene. I have some other mama friends who are in dire need, who have children, who are getting hand me downs. And so I get to really attune to the energy of like, what is this food, or what is this item in my house? Or when somebody offers to give me something, can I be in my discernment and say, no, thank you, or, ooh, yes, yes. And I know somebody who that would serve. I'm not really about like having things right now in my home just to have it, like save it for a rainy day. I mean, of course, depending on what it is, right? So another thing that Chad and I have been doing is I had like a big burn ritual, and we went and burned in the fire before my family came. I think it was sometime over the last week, and we burned things from my old corporate job, his old corporate job, I burned all of these old papers from previous programs that I did, and notes from different courses, and thank you cards from people. It's like, I had a bunch of thank you cards or notes that felt important to me, and I got rid of most of them because the memories are carried in my heart. Like I don't need the tangible thing in order to remember, for the most part, something that someone has given me. So that's not to say with everything, but really attuning to like, okay, the alchemy is happening when I set an intention and put this piece of paper in the fire. I know that I'm alchemizing that memory in my heart. And I don't need this tangible thing in order to remember that experience or that memory or that thank you or whatever that note was that warmed my heart in that moment. So I'm very much in this space, I believe, of moving from scarcity to sustainability. And I know that I gave you all my recipe for abundance a couple episodes ago, and this feels true. Like I'm really embodying my abundance and my wealth and prosperity codes. And it's because I'm getting into the subtleties of these very things. Like, where am I holding on so tightly to things? Like, where do I think that I'm not going to get this back tenfold? Where am I giving to receive? Where am I not being generous? Where do I think that, oh my gosh, I spent all this money on food and I feel like I've got to eat it all, or whatever it is? There was something else that I was going to say. Oh, another thing we did is we said no gifts. And for Christmas, we said no gifts, and that was a little bit harder. We still got some gifts, but I said no gifts. We had invited, let's see, there was probably 20 people at our house, and we only got 3 gifts. And One of them, most of them were like a card and a stuffed animal, just I think just to have something to open. And then one was a gift card. And then another was a gift that my family all threw down on to get my son a jungle gym. And that was something that I requested as I was like, he loves climbing over things. I want something that he can use, that he can be active. I just don't want all of these things. I've been really in this place of like not just wanting all of these things. My son is very simple. A lot of the things that he plays with aren't even his toys half the time. Like he would much rather open cabinets or go for the Tupperware or like pull something down from a desk that he probably shouldn't have, go outside. And so there's just so, I'm just like really in this place of not wanting all of this stuff. Again, if it's not beauty, if it doesn't bring beauty in my life, practicality in my life, or isn't in service to my dream life, it's a no. And the same goes for my husband and my son. And that's been something that I've been in a lot of contemplation and introspection about. So I don't know if I really have any like wisdom here other than I've moved from scarcity to sustainability. And I feel like the beginning was me giving you examples of ways that I may have been in scarcity. And then okay, I got to tell you what else I did this morning. And then how I'm moving into sustainability. And again, trusting in like energetic exchange, like paying for something or giving something, right? It doesn't matter. It's the act of giving, receiving, spending money on this thing, getting the food, then giving the food to the people who joined for the party, and then eating it myself, and then giving it back to the earth, and then letting my dog have a little bit of it on the floor, right? It's like all in the exchange, all in the exchange. So we also got sushi over the weekend with my family and we had like 500,000 soy sauces and it was stressing me out because I'm like, I don't want to throw this away. It's wasteful, even though it's wasteful anyways, because it's like all these little packets. But what I did is I cut them all open at once and I went out to my sacred altar waterfall and I gave the soy sauce back to the earth. And that was more of a ritual for me to like really anchor in the sustainability piece of like just thanking the company who made the soy sauce, right? Like all of the people involved in production that got it from like inception all the way to my house from the sushi place and the delivery drivers and all the things, right? So it's more of a like a thank you and then giving it back to the earth of like, okay, I'm giving it to you. Like, here's my contribution for the day. And just practicing and playing in that. I've also done that in like before having meals. We've been really showing and teaching my son that we bless our food. And it's kind of the same thing of like thanking all of the plants and all of the animals and delivery drivers and the people at the grocery stores or the farmers markets, or if my husband cooked, or if I cooked, or if Luna's, my dog, is, sitting there waiting to be the vacuum cleaner when anything falls off the counter, or my son for being such a great eater and like trying things, right? Just being in the gratitude of like the whole experience before we put food in our bellies. And I just feel like I've been in this space in general of cultivating that. And I don't know, there was probably a part of me that used to be embarrassed of some of the things that I would do. And I think I I really just do care about this planet. And um there's a lot of things we do that are just so unconscious and wasteful. And I'm playing in the energetics of like, how can I have this bring a little bit more levity to this? And how can I, again, be of contribution in the world in this way? And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So I gave you some different examples and I'm still kind of practicing and I'm still playing. And I feel like I've come a really long way. And a lot of times I'll notice myself going into an old pattern of like, okay, do I really need to put this shower gel next to the bath and like get the littlest last drop out of it? Or can I go like send it straight to the recycling? Like, can I wash it? Right. So let me give you an example, right? Like shower gel. If I just rinse it out in the sink, right, that's where I can be in the process of reciprocity because it's like it's going back into the earth and in some way, shape, or form, it's going down the drain and it's getting treated. Like, again, it's all part of the cycle of life versus me feeling like, oh, I need to use this last drop in the bath. Right. So I'm like feeling like I need to be the intermediary of, ooh, I paid for this thing. I need to get every last drop. I'm going to use it in my bath experience versus me just rinsing it out in the sink drain and then recycling it. So little subtleties of like, oh, I'm going into this old pattern again where I feel like I've got to squeeze every last drop out of this thing and I need to be a part of it and it's got to serve me. That's the difference. Is it's like the old energetics of, oh, this has got to serve me. And I feel like that's really opened me up to a lot of the abundance and material resource and money and income and things that have been coming in as of late. So I would love to know what you think about this. This was kind of just some musings around scarcity versus sustainability and what I've been moving through and just being in the practice of getting curious around like where am I being scarce, which is obviously impacting my capacity to receive, and my word for 2025 is receptivity. And where can we be sustainable, which is really about synarchy and synergy and like being in that symbiotic harmonious relationship with other, with the planet, with the cosmos, with ourselves, because we're all connected. So I think I'll leave it there. That's all I got. Those are my intuitive musings on sustainability and scarcity. I'll let you know if anything else drops in, but I am really curious if anyone can relate to this. If you think I'm a crazy person, um, I feel like it's a little bit of nature and nurture for myself of seeing my dad have very similar energetics around this. And also just like the way that I came into this planet, I think being connected, I've just always felt connected to nature. And yeah, just feeling subtleties. I feel like I'm already getting so much clarity just from speaking all of this to you. So a lot of times these solo casts are more for me. Like, okay, I'm process talking this through and I know that it's helping you all as well because I love getting texts and DMs and emails around how this is supporting you. I would love to know what you think. Let me know if I'm a crazy person or let me know if this is resonating. All right, catch you next week. Much love.